to an empty and very, very spacious Griffith Gymnasium this afternoon as Hilltoppers are going to take on the Bernalillo Spartans. And this rivalry goes way back, coached by Terry Darnell. Terry Darnell, one of the absolutely class guys in the entire sporting area of New Mexico, and known Terry for a long time, and he is one fantastic guy. The head coach of the Hilltoppers, of course, has been Ito Maestas, but right now, the only people here in this gymnasium are the players and us and the referees, and I guess anybody that doesn't have to be here isn't here, and so that's all it boils down to. No spectators, no anything. So, Mike, we're not going to have a whole lot of problem with crowd noise today, at least.
I don't think so. No, I think we're okay in that department. But yeah, stands pretty much empty, as you said, and unless you have obvious business here, you are not here.
That's exactly right.
But fortunately for us, we are here, and we're going to bring you this ball game this evening against the Los Alamos High School Hilltoppers, the homestanding Hilltoppers, and they're going to take on a formidable opponent in the Bernalillo High School Spartans. The Spartans coming into this game 8-9. The Spartans actually got off to a really good start this season, but have struggled in the month of January. They have dropped 3 straight contests, which is unusual for the Spartans. They are usually very, very rock solid and kind of coming into their own. But their last victory coming on January the 11th over the St. Pius Spartans, but then dropped 3 straight contests after that to Belen, to Valencia, and to the Del Norte Knights. So coming in on a down note are the Spartans. I'm sure they'll be looking to bounce back, but that's very unusual for them to lose 3 games in a row.
Yeah, they played Del Norte last, and I was talking to Terry before the ball game, and I wish I'd have thought of it to ask him, get his evaluation of Harrison Frank down there playing for Del Norte. And Harrison, of course, was an outstanding player here in Los Alamos, and a sophomore last year, as a junior this year. He's been on the varsity here since he was a freshman starting, and he was an outstanding basketball player. And he was, he was going to come back this year, and we were going to be a powerhouse. And anyway, he decided to move to Albuquerque and go to Del Norte, of all places. And so anyway, but I didn't get a chance. I wish I'd talked to Terry about what he thought of Harrison and how he was doing down there at Del Norte. But Mike, Terry he's been coaching. Well, he's going to be the deputy assistant or deputy superintendent. He's been coaching the Spartans for a long time. He's been the athletic director for a long time. He took over as the assistant, as an interim superintendent, and then they made someone else the AD. So now he is back, and I didn't know what his situation was, but it turns out he's the deputy superintendent, and he's the head coach of the boys. But he said he's going to have to give up the coaching job next year and concentrate on being a superintendent.
Wow, that's how weird is that going to be? We're looking over there and not seeing Terry Darnell.
Oh, I know it, really.
So we are just about underway here. A quick rundown of the starting lineups for the Spartans. They are coached by Terry Darnell. They're going to start Chase Darnell, a 6'2 senior. Jason Lovato, a 5'10 junior. Raymond Aragon, a 5'10 junior. Marcus Lucero, a 6-foot senior. And Tristan Ludi Herrera. And we're going to talk about that young man once or twice in this ball game. The Toppers win the tip rather, and misfire on their first shot.
Yeah, they just won the tip and then breaking down the floor down the right side of the lane and getting the pass, a beautiful pass into Wesley Stanfield, and Stanfield wide open and put it up too hard off the glass and bounced out. I couldn't believe that Wesley would miss a layup like that, but anyway, we're just underway here in this first quarter, and then so Nico Garcia, who's been the leading scorer, or at least is sharing the score. He's either leading scorer or he's shared the leading score with somebody, and the 6-foot sophomore, and he puts in the first bucket from about 10 feet out in the lane. So,
and real quick, Gene, for the Toppers, as we have ball bouncing out of bounds, they're going to start Nico Garcia, a 6-foot sophomore, Joshua Woodson, a 5'10" senior, Wesley Stanfield, a 5'11" senior, Gavin Coy, a 6'2" senior, and Elijah Ortiz, a 6-foot senior.
Yeah, so and interestingly enough, they started Elijah and Gavin. Of course, Mark Cleland Mark Cleland has a 6'10". He's not starting, but he missed that last game against Academy, and now taking it to the hole for Bernalillo was Tristan Ludi Herrera. Tristan drove us crazy in the football. He's an outstanding football player, defensive player. He piled up the interceptions like crazy. He goes in, lays it in. He puts up the first basket, and then he goes to the line to shoot, and he converts a 3-point play as that personal foul. Let's see, went to Gavin Coy. That was Gavin's first team foul. And so the Hilltoppers with it to get it to Wesley Stanfield. He's going to take it to the hole, puts it up left-handed, and he's going to go to the line. So a nice little penetration that time by Wesley. And as he went up, let's see, they're going to call it on the floor. So the foul occurring before the shot. Hilltoppers will inbound it under their own basket, baseline left. They bounce it. Whoa. And there's a 5-second violation. And just as they were bouncing it in, they called a 5-second. But the inbound pass went to Elijah Ortiz, who was wide open under the basket. Wide open. But they waited too long. So as Elijah wasn't wide open the whole time as he came around. Oh, and there's a nice shot from the right wing. And this one up and in by Raymond Aragon. So he cans a 3-pointer. And right now it's a 6-2 ball game in favor of Bernalillo over the Hilltoppers. Nico Garcia with it for Los Alamos at the top of the key. He's going to penetrate down, gets it to Gavin Coy. Coy is going to try to make a move to the basket as a ball knocked away from him. And here come the Spartans roaring down the floor. Is Tristan Ludi Herrera in the corner, another 3-point shot on the way. And this one is good. And that one by Chase Darnell. And Terry was telling me that the two Darnell players on the team, and he said that's the last two for 6 or 7 years. I asked him, I said, so we're running out of Darnells? And he said, well, for a while. Anyway, so a fast break by the Spartans after Los Alamos missed a shot, and they get it up the floor to Marcus Lucero, and he lays it in for 2. So Bernalillo running away with this ball game right now as they lead 11-2. So Benito Maestas decides that he wants to take a 30-second timeout.
Yeah, wow. So the Spartans obviously off to a very hot start. Toppers already a couple of quick turnovers, and the Spartans took no time off the clock and went straight down to the other end and converted on those. So off to a very, very hot start, a couple of threes, and then Tristan Ludi Herrera, who I imagine we're going to be talking about a little bit in this ball game, Gene, just what an athlete that guy is. Just, you remember, the football season, boy, he might as well have just been one of our receivers for the, for the amount of balls he was catching.
Absolutely. And I think the Spartans, as they're starting this ball game, I think they've converted on every trip down the floor. And now they steal it away as the pass comes in, trying to get it into the lane. Is picked off this time by Marcus Lucero. Lucero is going to get it over in the corner, 3-point shot. That rims around and comes out. And the Spartans get the rebound, but let's see what they're going to call here. And I think we're going to call the Hilltoppers. They're going to call Ryan. They're going to call Ryan Zeke for over the back trying to go for the rebound. So Bernalillo doing a great job on the boards that time, and they'll inbound it under their own basket, baseline right. They bring it in. They get it inside now to Raymond Aragon. Aragon is going to bring it out on top. Now to get it to Tristan Ludi Herrera. Tristan backs out near the half-court circle. 4:45 to go here in the first period. 11-2. And so right now, Tristan's just out there dribbling in the half-court circle. And so now he gets the signal this time from Terry Darnell, and he just takes off right down the left side of the lane, lays it up, then put it up hard enough. Hilltoppers get the rebound, and so we're going to have a reach-in foul, and that one is going to go to Marcos Lucero. That's his first. That is the first team foul. There have been 2 team fouls called on Los Alamos. No press being put on by Bernalillo, and coming up the floor right now is Joshua Woodson. Is it Josiah Frescas? Let me correct that. And so a nice move to the basket this time. Boy, powering it to the basket with Ryan Zeke down the right down the baseline on the right side, and he just powered it in there and laid it in. 11-4 ball game right now. Ball comes over in the corner and trying to penetrate down, and we're going to have a blocking foul, I do believe. They're going to go to Bernalillo, I do believe.
Yeah, they're calling something on Bernalillo. Waiting for the foul to go up,
but I'm not sure what.
Well, maybe it wasn't a foul call.
Yeah, I don't think it was. Wesley Stanfield puts it up and right there for the putback, and Roland Ash, and he can't convert. On the floor is Tristan Ludi. Ball is stolen away as he slipped and fell, and Wesley Stanfield gets it over to Josiah Frescas, out to Ryan Zeke. Zeke will get it to Nico Garcia. The Hilltoppers had a clear advantage on that, Mike, and did not take advantage of any of it. So they're all backed out now with 3:20 to go. 11-4 ball game. They bounce it underneath to Roland Ash, and boy, a great pass that time by Josiah Frescas into Roland Ash. And so Ash lays it in. Nice entry pass, and he just laid it in for 2. And so now Terry Darnell wants a timeout.
And he did not like that basket at all.
No, he didn't.
He was hoping for the shutout. He's not going to get it today. But that was I think the best possession so far for the Toppers, and just a nice entry pass in there to Roland, who made a nice adjustment. Actually, defense on that wasn't that bad. Made a nice little adjustment, kind of bent himself backwards, and was able to get the layup. So good move there, and Roland Ash, who had been in the starting lineup, and interesting. Toppers going with a little bit of a smaller starting lineup today, but we'll see how much he wants to use Ash and Cleveland.
So Hilltoppers on a ferocious 4-point run right now. It's going to go down in the corner. They're going to get it to Tristan Ludi Herrera. He bounces it underneath, and in all kinds of traffic, they get it back out. Really moving that ball. Wow. Ball movement by Bernalillo that time was unreal. And we're going to have a 3-second violation called against Bernalillo. But, I mean, they just zinged that pass from one player to another, and they shot the three-pointers, made the three-pointer, but it was waved off because of the 3-second violation. The Hilltoppers were down 11-2. It's now 11-6. So they have cooled off the Spartans at least. And now Nico Garcia heading to the basket gets a great entry pass from Ryan Zeke. And so Wesley lays it in for 2. And that makes it now an 11-8 ball game. And I'm not sure what they're calling here, but Terry's not happy with the call. So the ball went out of bounds, and apparently Terry thought it was off of the Hilltoppers, and the referee rules it was off of Bernalillo. Pass inside once again, picked off by Tristan Ludi Herrera. They get it over in the corner, and now Tristan's going to put up the 3-point shot. This is going to be short. Long rebound comes down to the Hilltoppers up the floor, and here he comes Nico Garcia, and trying to dribble through a lot of traffic, loses the handle. Ball comes over now to Raymond Aragon. Aragon gets it out to Chase Darnell. Darnell, boy, nice. Wow. Starts to shoot the 3 and then decides to head down the left side of the lane and then pulls up and a little fadeaway jumper off the glass. Boy, that was a pretty shot. And he had now 5 points in the ball game. And now we're going to have palming is going to be called against Los Alamos. It's crazy, Mike, because some of these guys walk down the floor like they're scooping sugar out of the sugar bin, and others just the slightest little movement at all, and they'll call palming. So depending on the official, but right now it comes to Chase Darnell. Darnell picks up his dribble, gets it out. Yeah, and he got away with a major walk, and so the Hilltopper defense has Owen Geiger really putting the pressure on Marcos Lucero, and now Chase Darnell is going to take it to the hole. Nice drive to the basket, puts it up too hard off the glass. Owen Geiger with the rebound. Here comes Owen. Owen pulls up top of the key over to Joshua Woodson. 3-point shot by Joshua, and Joshua drops it in, and the Hilltoppers have cut this to a 2-point ball game, 13-11, after being down 11-2, and we're in the final minute of this first quarter. As this first quarter just roaring by, no crowd here to distract anybody. So they get it now to Chase Darnell, and we're going to have a foul away from the ball. And let's see, then this is going to go to Wesley Stanfield. What a surprise! Wesley is a foul magnet, and so Bernalillo they inbound it, and they try to get it over to Raymond Aragon. He loses the handle, gets it back. So now he's going to put up his left-handed 3-point shot. Chase Darnell high in the air to pull it down. Chase is going to go back up and lay it in. So Chase Darnell, boy, pretty move by Chase. He's a 6'2" senior, but he got the rebound on the left side of the basket, and so he just kind of made a little move, and then all of a sudden a little half sky hook, Mike, for the score. And with 10 seconds to go here in the first quarter, 15-11, and pass. They get it to Wesley Stanfield underneath to this time they get to Roland Esch, and Esch puts it up, misses, gets his own rebound, puts it back up off the glass, and so Roland picks up his 2 points, and so that makes it now a 15-13 ball game. I think that's Roland's fourth point, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. So that'll bring this first quarter to an end as the Hilltoppers find themselves down 15-13 after being down 11-2. So they have the Hilltopper defense has picked up, and so they have really slowed down the Bernalillo Spartans, who they just took off like crazy at the beginning of this ball game.
Yeah, they absolutely did. I mean, starting things off on an 11-2 run, and the Toppers actually took a timeout there early, and that seemed to settle things down a little bit. And Toppers able to crawl back in this first quarter. Actually, outscored the Spartans 11-4 over the last about 5 minutes of the quarter. But the Spartans already looking like they might run away with this. But a couple of big buckets are by Roland Esch, and then a nice 3-pointer from a little bit of to the right of the top of the key, and that was coming from Joshua Woodson, and that got Toppers rolling back again. So we'll see what happens here as we get the second quarter underway. Tristan Ludi Herrera looking for a lane, nothing there. Nearly throws it out of bounds, but picked off. Oh, nearly picked off there before the Toppers by Joshua Woodson, but trying to turned his back or turned back to the court and just could not find the handle on the ball. But good defensive effort there by the Toppers.
So trying to go to the hole that time, and as he started to pick up his dribble, Chase Darnell, and he was tied up that time. I think that was Elijah Ortiz, I think, that got a hold of the ball and tied him up. So the Cells end up being a held ball, and the alternating possession goes to Los Alamos. A screen for Wesley Stanfield. He dribbles now over to the left of the key. He's going to take it to the hole. It has to pick up his dribble. Elijah 3-point shot on the way. That's short. And the ball is everywhere. Owen Geiger goes to the floor to pick it up. and I think they're going to call a foul on one of the, because piling on top of him that time was Tristan Ludi Herrera trying to get the ball.
That's fine in football. You can do that in football and basketball, not so much. You're trying to get the fumble, but oh no, Chase Darnell with a nice steal, trying to throw the ball across the court and actually hit the backboard and ended up falling out.
Unbelievable.
Chase Darnell, that was a heck of an effort there by Darnell, but just wasn't watching where he was throwing it.
Yeah, behind the basket. So now the Hilltoppers bring it into the backcourt. So the Hilltoppers they were trapped over in the corner on the left side. And they tried to bring it out on top, so they pass it way too far out on top, trying to get it to Owen Geiger, overthrew him. Owen runs it down, and so it's a backcourt violation called against Los Alamos. Still a 15-13 ball game right now. In the corner, they get it to Tristan Ludi Herrera. Tristan makes a nice little move and puts up a little turnaround jump shot. Is off, but he gets his own rebound, gets it to Chase Darnell, a little floater right down the middle of the lane. That one is off. Hilltoppers with a rebound. They get it to Owen Geiger. Geiger back to Nico Garcia. Garcia will bring it up for Los Alamos, just underway here in the second quarter, 6:40 remaining. It's a 15-13 ball game. Hilltoppers down by 2. And it was that's what it was at the quarter. Nobody has scored in this quarter so far. Comes now to Nico Garcia, holding the ball high above his head over near the sideline on the right side. Now Nico goes all the way over to the left side, and he's going to bring a skip pass across to Wesley Stanfield. Stanfield gets a screen from this time from Ryan Zeke. Stanfield starts to pull up, can't. And so he dishes it out to Owen Geiger. And now Nico Garcia, 3-point shot from way out there, high in the air to get the rebound. Jason Lovato. Lovato will bring it up the floor. And Tristan Ludi Herrera takes it to the hole. He got too far under the basket. The Hilltoppers now with a breakaway and an easy basket for Nico Garcia. So that makes Nico's 4th point. And it ties it up at 15-15. In the corner it goes, and now out on top underneath it goes to Chase Darnell. He loses the handle, picks it up and runs with it, and nothing called. And so now they're calling something, and this one is going to go. Elijah Ortiz is going to pick up the personal. That's Elijah's first personal, and that is the 4th team foul on Los Alamos. But so Bernalillo will inbound it under their own basket.
And checking in the ball game here, Gene, is the big man himself, Mark Cleland, his first appearance here.
Yes, so put him under the basket for now. And Tristan Ludi Herrera, he decides to take it to the hole. And I'm not challenging Mark. Mark was on the other side of the lane. So Trudy goes up and he's fouled by Ryan Zeke. That's his second. That's the 5th team foul. And Tristan Ludi Herrera at the free throw line. He was there early in the first quarter, and he converted a 3-point play. So right now he's 2 for 2 from the free throw line as he will shoot one more as he gives the Spartans a 1-point lead and trying to make it 2. And so he does, and so that makes it 17-15. Wesley Stanfield quickly down the floor once again, bounces it over to Nico Garcia. Nico, 6-foot sophomore, only a sophomore. But boy, I mean, he is one tough ball player. Lob pass comes inside to Mark Cleland. He pops it back out to Wesley Stanfield. Stanfield passed up a wide open shot. Why, I don't know. And the ball gets knocked loose, comes right to Mark Cleland. He's standing under the basket, nobody around him. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that. That's like having me stand over a wastebasket and drop an apple into it or something. Anyway, 17-17 right now is the score. And we are, 4:38 remains here in the first half.
Both teams have really cooled off here in the second quarter.
Chase Darnell, 3-point shot from the right wing. He was wide open, and he just took a little hop step, and then put the shot up. And right now he has 10 points in the ball game.
And then the ball poked away from Wesley Stanfield by Tristan Ludi Herrera. And as he knocked it loose, it actually grazed Wesley. Wesley had to try to run it down before it went out of bounds and was about an inch short there. Yes. So turnover going back to Bernalillo, 20-17 in favor of the Spartans just about halfway through the second quarter. And Ludi Herrera trying to direct traffic there to set something up.
So he gets it to Chase Darnell and gets it back to Ludi Herrera. Skip pass across, almost picked off by Mark Cleland, but he can't get the handle. So taking it to the hole against Mark this time and putting the shot up was Raymond Aragon. And the ball is going to go out of bounds off of the Hilltoppers.
Actually, nice trying to get the rebound there was Josiah Fresquez, but had a foot out of bounds and did not establish himself back in before he grabbed the ball.
Yes. So 20-17 right now. Bernalillo still up in this ball game, and Bernalillo has led the entire ball game. Chase Darnell wide open from about 8 feet out in the middle of the lane, and the 6'2" senior puts up a short jump shot that is off, and Josiah Frescas is going to get it now underneath. They get it underneath to Mark Cleveland, and Cleveland puts it in for 2. So a beautiful entry pass across the lane by Gavin Coy. So give Gavin the assist, and then boy, a beautiful left-handed 3-point shot from way out by Raymond Aragon and Bernalillo. And that makes it now 23-19. Hilltoppers now down by 4, and inside it once again, it goes to Cleveland. He puts it up too hard off the glass. He was wide open again, and long pass down the floor. They're going to bring it out on top to Ludi Herrera. He's going to, he started to take it in, pulled up, tried to dish it across the lane. Right there was Nico Garcia to pick it off. Up the floor, it comes to Josiah Frescas, makes a great spin move, and then gets the ball out in the corner this time to Rick Valdez. And Valdez puts up an air ball 3-pointer, but Mark Cleveland gets the rebound and puts it back in. So he now has 6 points. And answering back, Raymond Aragon once again with a 3-pointer. And that makes it now 26-21.
Gonna be a little bit frustrating for the Toppers. They put together a couple of good possessions here and got a couple of buckets, and the Spartans came right back, not 10 seconds after the Topper bucket to knock in a 3.
So the pass over into the right wing, and that gets by the intended receiver and goes out of bounds. 2:09 remaining right now. And so the Hilltoppers are coming up with 8 points so far in this quarter, and 6 of those from Mark Cleveland. It was 15-13 at the end of the quarter. Bernalillo up by 2. Right now they're up by 5. Their biggest lead in the ballgame has been 9 when they are up 11-2. Tristan Ludi Herrera just bouncing the ball in the half-court circle, getting instructions from Terry Darnell. Now he's going to make a little spin move, takes it all the way to the hole. So he made a little spin move and ended up right in front of the basket. So beautiful move by Ludi Herrera. He now has 7 points in the ball game, and the Hilltoppers now with a long pass down the floor, and they get it underneath to Rick Valdez, and Rick just lays it in for 2, and that makes it 28-23. Chase Darnell is going to take it to the hole once again. He has his shot blocked out of bounds, and I believe that was Ryan Zeke that got a hand on that.
And that was just a little unfortunate for Ryan because I think Chase was losing the handle on the way up. Had he just let that go, I think that would have been a turnover.
So the ball is knocked out of bounds by Wesley Stanfield, who has checked back in for Los Alamos. And in the ball game right now, we have Wesley Stanfield, and Mark Cleveland has checked out of the ball game. Chase Darnell in the free throw circle puts his shot up, So he dribbled into the free throw circle, and then he put the jump shot up, and he was fouled. Josiah Frescas whacked him on the arm. And that is Josiah's first personal 6-team foul, but that's a shooting foul. That's going to be Chase Darnell at the free throw line, and he's the only one that's ever. Ludy Herrera is the only one who shot free throws in this ball game so far. So Chase goes to the line with 10 points, and he drops in the first. So give him 11, and so we're checking into the ball game is a number 33. I don't have a 33.
I don't have a 33 either. I'll double check on that.
Yeah. And so Chase Darnell drops in the second. He now has 12 points in the ballgame. Hilltopper wasting no time getting into Nico Garcia in a deep corner on the right side. High arching three-pointer by Nico, and that rattles around in the rim and drops in. Under 1 minute to go. So 30-26. There's a steal by the Hilltoppers. Picking it up is Ryan Zeke. Gets it to Wesley Stanfield coming up the floor in a hurry. Wesley's going to try to take it to the hole, and he is cut off by Raymond Aragon. Gets it over now, and it comes out on top underneath, wide open underneath. And that was Rick Valdez, and he was wide open on the left side of the basket, but he decided to dribble around to the right side. So I guess he likes the right hand better than the left hand, obviously. Chase Darnell with it, 30-28. And Darnell's going to throw it away, but it's a loose ball. Is chased down by Jason Lovato of Bernalillo. 14 seconds to go. And Lovato dribbling out in the half-court circle. And we're going to have I think we're going to have a blocking foul, I do believe. Yeah, Rick Valdez is going to pick up the personal. So a silly blocking foul by Valdez, and that's his first. But that is the 7th team foul. And so that is going to put Jason Lovato on the free throw line. Jason now will shoot 1-1, actually. So he drops in the first. So right now, Mike, the Spartans are not having any Spartan free throw shooting, as they haven't missed a one. It makes it now 32-28. They get it underneath this time to Ricky Valdez, and Ricky gets it to Bernalillo, and then coming up the floor in a hurry. So Valdez comes off the bench. The 6-foot junior picks up 6 points for Los Alamos in the quarter. So we had 6 for Valdez, 6 for Mark Cleveland, and 5 for Nico Garcia. So 3 players scoring for Los Alamos in that quarter, and for a total of 17 points. Anyway, but the fast first half. And what's interesting, Mike, is that this is only one game here, and no fans, no spectators, no anything, no C team game, no JV game, and only the varsity. And tomorrow it's going to be the exact same thing. And it's the Spartans today and the Spartans tomorrow. So, which is kind of interesting. And for a long time, nobody knew what a Spartan was, but they finally figured it out. There's St. Pius X. That was his last name or first name.
Yes, that was the man's real name. So, I had to have the athletic director a few years ago explain to me what that was. I had no idea. But that's what it is, in case you've ever wondered. But 32-30 in favor of the Spartans here at Griffith Gymnasium, as we are in the break. And Toppers coming up with 17 points in that quarter, as did the Bernalillo Spartans. And we'll add things up here. By the way, Gene, just so we do know who the mystery player is, number 33 for the Spartans. That is Justin Sandoval.
Oh, okay.
So he checks into the ball game in that second quarter. But Toppers getting sparks from their bench there in that second quarter. 6 points for Rick Valdez, who plays kind of sparingly more often than he doesn't. And then 6 points coming from Mark Cleland, the big man, the 6'10 senior. 4 of those points coming on second chance efforts. So that accounted for 12 of the Topper 17 points in that quarter. For the Spartans, Raymond Aragon had a pair of threes in the second quarter. Chase Darnell with a 3. And the Spartans rather perfect from the foul line. So as both teams are talking things over in the locker room, you probably hear over the microphone the PA announcer, the music playing and interest.
Yeah, it's very festive here.
Yes, it really is. This place is rocking.
Yeah, it is.
It's absolutely rocking.
Yeah.
But in any event, no fans. Will be no fans tomorrow. And then I guess we have it on some authority that fans will be allowed back at some point next week. Is that correct?
That's what Ann Stewart told me. She said everything. She said right now we'll go back to normal next week. And she said, but whatever normal is, and so of course all that can change in a shot as we have found out. So, but yeah. So, and next week the Hilltopper boys, they're going to start things off in a district. They're going down to Espanola. We're not going to be able to make that ball game. We have all kinds of conflicts on that night. So the Hilltopper boys are going to go down and take on the powerhouse that is Espanola. And they've got it all. And they got that Ollie fell inside, who actually played tight end in the football team on the football game, and he drove us crazy in that football game. But he's an outstanding young man underneath that grew up in Los Alamos and then transferred over to Espanola. And they've got another big man inside. They've got the guards. They have all the things that Espanola usually has. So, and then every now and then the Sun Devils will have a big man. That is a little unusual for them to have 2 big men, but that's what they got. And boy, they just have all the tools. They are. If they don't make that championship game this season, Gene, I will be very, very surprised. Oh, absolutely.
So, excellent. Excellent. They do just about everything well. So quick rundown of the scoring, Gene, for the Spartans. They were led by Chase Darnell. He ended up with 12 points. Had a couple of 3-pointers, one in the first quarter, one in the second quarter, and a couple of buckets as well. And Jason Lovato had 3 3-pointers. He ended up with 9, and then Tristan Ludi Herrera ended up with 7. They were trying very hard. The Spartans were to get Tristan as many isolation chances as they could, and he comes roaring in from just the right of the key, and he was looking for those one-on-one chances, and he had them, but the Topper defense was up to the task on some of those. So Topper's able to slow him down, but as we're saying, he is just a fantastic athlete. He's fast, he's strong, he has incredible court awareness, and we saw in football he has incredible field awareness as well. He had about 350 interceptions, I think, in that one game. He was just all over the place. It was unreal. And for the Toppers were led by Nico Garcia. He ended up with 9 points in that first half, through 3 2-point field goals, and he also had a 3-pointer late, and then 6 points coming off the bench from both Rick Valdez and Mark Cleland in that second quarter. 4 points for Roland Esch, those were also off the bench. Joshua Woodson had 3. Ryan Zeke had a bucket. And that's where we stand, 32-30 in favor of the Spartans. So the Toppers bouncing back as we said, from a what appeared to be a disastrous start, and Bernalillo just immediately looked like they were going to run us right out of this building within about 5-6 minutes of this ball game. But Toppers able to get everything settled down.
Yeah, they had 11 points before the Toppers even figured out as the game started. I mean, it was just every time they came down the floor, and finally Benito Maestas calls a timeout, and then they adjusted. They got a lot more aggressive on defense, and that slowed them down. So then it's been played. The Hilltoppers were able to finally then catch up, and so they have this 2-point lead right now. They had a 2-point lead at the end of the quarter, 17 points each for each team, and for Bernalillo, they ended up with 10 field goals, and 5 of those were 3-pointers. And the Hilltoppers had 14 field goals, and 2 of those were 3-pointers. But the difference in the game right now, Mike, is that the Spartans are 7 for 7 from the free throw line, and the Hilltoppers have not shot a free throw.
No, they have not. And then Toppers just they have made a couple of drives to the basket, but and I gotta say that I don't think the officials have really missed anything.
No.
This is a very disciplined defense they're playing. It wasn't a whole lot of reaching in, wasn't a whole lot of silly stuff that that teams that play fast-paced basketball sometimes are prone to do. We saw none of that.
No, not at all. And so, anyway,
sorry, Gene. Mark Cleland practicing his 3-pointers there. That was
Mark
didn't quite get there.
Mark, I don't know. He acts like he's 10 feet tall, and because he never puts any arch on his shot, never any arch on the free throws, never any arch on the little jump shots. If he shoots a 3-pointer, it's just as flat as it can be. And I don't know. It's like I'm tall enough that I'm actually shooting down, something like that. So anyway,
yeah, both teams back on the court as we are less than a minute to go here before the start of this second half. 32-30 ball game, and Toppers, nobody in any serious foul trouble right now, which is good to see. By the way, one thing to keep in mind, the Spartans playing a little bit shorthanded, only 9 players dressed out today.
Yes.
Nobody in any kind of foul trouble or anything, but just something to keep an eye on. The Spartans haven't slowed down even a little bit since the start of this ball game. Let's see if they can keep if they plan to keep their foot on the gas, or they're gonna ease back a little bit.
So Bernalillo will start things off for this third quarter, and they get it into Tristan Ludi Herrera. So Tristan now bringing the ball up the floor, going to come to the right key down in the corner, the little give and go, but they weren't able to get it to work. So now they're going to get it to Jason Lovato. His shot is off, and a battle for the rebound, and we're going to have the ball goes actually out of bounds as they were scramble for it under the basket, and then the ball ends up bouncing on the line off of one of the Spartans. So the Hilltoppers get the ball and they bring it up. They get it now to Joshua Woodson. Woodson with 3 points in the ball game. He's a good 3-point shooter. And Josiah Frescas, I'm sorry, is those two guys I get mixed up all the time. Long rebound on the 3-pointer by the Hilltoppers comes down to Frescas. Quickly up the floor comes Bernalillo. Tristan Ludi Herrera. Herrera dishes it over to over to Chase Darnell on the baseline. He was about 8 feet from the basket, and he almost hit the ceiling with that shot. But boy, he needs to get together with Mark Cleland and learn how to put some arch on those things. So comes to Wesley Stanfield. He gets it to Nico Garcia. Down to Josiah Frescas. Frescas dribbling down the lane, and then across great pass across the lane to a cutting Wesley Stanfield. Stanfield coming in from from the from the right side, got a beautiful pass and missed the layup. Unbelievable. Now coming down on the other end, we're going to have a traveling violation called against Bernalillo. 6.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. It's 35-30. Bernalillo up by 5. Wesley Stanfield with it is going to pull up, gets it. Well, I thought he was going to go down in the corner, gets it to Nico Garcia, back out on top to Wesley, and he'll get it to Josiah Frescas. Frescas picks up his dribble, and then he had the right idea. Had Rick Valdez wide open under the basket, tried to zing it into him, but Jason Lovato at the last second just stuck his hand up and deflected it out of bounds. Otherwise, that was going to be an easy 2 for Los Alamos. Comes out now to Nico Garcia over right up against the sideline on the left wing. Comes to Wesley Stanfield. Stanfield back to Nico. 3-point shot on the way. This is off. Wow. High in the air that time. Tristan Ludi Herrera. My God. And so he just comes down the floor and on the fast break, and he flips it up the floor. And he gets it up now to Jason Lovato, and Lovato lays it in for 2. But, boy, I'm telling you, Mike, Tristan Ludi Herrera is listed at 5'10". But, my God, did you see the vertical jump on that time?
He got up there. He was not even close to the tallest guy under the basket, but he just out-jumped and it wasn't even close.
No, it wasn't at all.
He had a couple 3 inches on everybody.
Yes.
And it just, as we're saying, we just can't say this enough, how fantastic of an athlete he is. He's just something else. And incredible football player. I don't know who ended up player of the year in 4A, but I think he was knocking on that door. And then just we're seeing the just incredible jump there from Tristan. So fantastic athlete. Just can't say enough about him.
So the Hilltoppers now inbound it. It comes now to Joshua Woodson. Woodson over to Nico Garcia down in the corner. Elijah Ortiz, he likes to shoot from there. 3-point shot is off. Rebound comes down to Raymond Aragon, who'll get it up to Ludi Herrera. And they get it to right now once again to Jason Lovato. And Lovato only had 2 free throws in the second quarter, but he's got 4 quick points here in this third quarter. 5:16 to go. Pass almost thrown out of bounds. And then finally it's picked off by Chase Darnell. And chasing Chase was Nico Garcia. Couldn't catch up with him. And Chase just took it in, had a breakaway layup. So a bad pass was picked off by Chase, and he just took off. Makes it now 41-30. Hilltoppers have not scored in this quarter, and we've had 3 minutes and 15 seconds go by. They finally get it underneath. Well, I thought that was it. They finally get it underneath Elijah Ortiz, and he had an easy layup to just put it over the front of the rim, which he tried to do, rolled around and came off. And now Bernalillo moving the ball everywhere. Finally, Chase Darnell takes a takes a 3-pointer, long rebound, comes down to Bernalillo, and they get it back out to Tristan Ludi Herrera, who now stands in the free throw circle. And it looks like he's counting see how many players he's got. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. And now a shot from the corner. That's good. And this one now by Jason Lovato. And so that's 7 points for him, Mike, in this quarter alone. And he has 9 points total. Comes now to Nico Garcia. Right now, the Hilltoppers have not scored in 4 minutes, and it's a 44-30 ball game. Finally, they get it to Elijah Ortiz. So Wesley Stanfield dishes it underneath to Elijah, and Elijah puts it in for 2, and the Hilltoppers finally break the drought. But, boy, that took forever. And right now they're down by 12. They were down by 2, and they've now been outscored to 12-2.
And immediately Benito puts in both his big men, Roland Esch and Mark Cleland. See if they can't clog up the middle here a little bit. But boy, Bernalillo is just they're shooting from everywhere. They're shooting from all angles, and a lot of it's going in.
Yes, So Tristan Ludi Herrera standing backs into the half-court circle again. And So he brings it over now to Raymond Aragon. Aragon just holding the ball. And he's going to bring it back to Tristan Ludi. So they're just playing catch. Chase Darnell from the corner, 3-point shot. That is off. Rebound is going to go off for Jason Lovato out of bounds. So it'll be inbounded by the Hilltoppers. And underneath and a full court press right now being put on by Bernalillo. That's the first time we've seen this. So they're bringing up the press, and up the floor they come. They get it, and the Hilltoppers break the press nicely. Get it up to Nico Garcia. He puts a shot up, and too hard off the glass, but right there is Owen Geiger, and Geiger puts it in for the put. He gets the putback for 2. Shot taken once again. This one by Jason Lovato. I mean, this time by Raymond Aragon, and Aragon puts in the 3-pointer. Makes it now 47 to 34. Comes now to Wesley Stanfield. Stanfield will get it to Owen Geiger underneath. Wide open is Mark Cleland. And so as he starts to go up, Jason Lovato fouls him on purpose. Just grabs his arm. And I can tell you that's a good strategy.
That is not a bad strategy at all.
Here comes Shaquille O'Neal stepping to the free throw line. Somebody needs him to tell him, put some arch on that shot. I've been preaching that all. I've been preaching that the entire season.
Nobody didn't hear you that time.
Nobody listens to me. So he puts a brick off the front of the rim, and so let's see, get it up there. Wow! All right.
Oh,
all right.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Mark Cleland. So 1 for 2 from the free throw line. No, that makes it now 47 to 35. Shot taken. Rebound is going to come down to, Mark Cleland almost had the rebound. It's tipped away from him. I don't know how. And they get it now over to Chase Darnell, who tries to pass it underneath to Marcus Lucero and goes right through Lucero's hands out of bounds. 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. And that was a dangerous pass. And so interestingly enough, Wesley Stanfield put the shot up in the top of the key. He was standing on the line when he put the shot up. The official immediately held up 3 fingers. So
I don't know that was a 3.
No, it was not a 3. He was definitely on the line, but they get it underneath now to Roland Dash, and Roland puts it in. He's fouled, and that personal foul went to Tristan Ludi Herrera. That's only the third team foul on Bernalillo in this ball game. So they get it to Chase Darnell, and Ash with 6 points in the ball game, missed the free throw. So now Tristan standing in the half-court circle again. He did a sneaky beaky there, Mike. Whoever was guarding him, he pointed and got a defensive man to look that direction, and then he took off around him. So he pointed to the right, got the defender to look to the right, and then he just took off to the left. So Hilltoppers now they're coming down on a fast break to get it to Wesley Stanfield. He pulls up under the basket. He's going to be tied up. We're going to have a held ball, and that will go to the Hilltoppers. But the Hilltoppers had a pretty good break going there, Mike, but they just stalled. So it comes inside now to Mark Cleland. Cleland just high in the air to put it up off the glass. Nice catch and a nice shot by Mark. And so that personal foul now will go. And this one is going to go to Tristan Ludi Herrera. That's his third. That is the second team foul of this half, the fourth team foul of the ball game. And so Mark tries to convert the 3-point play. Not good. 47 to 39. Tristan Ludi Herrera, long pass in the corner. They get it to Chase Darnell. Darnell's going to bring it back out on top, tipped away by Owen Geiger, but the loose ball chased down by Ludi Herrera. Tristan is going to pull it up. 3-point shot on the way. That's good. And another one by Chase Darnell. So Chase Darnell having a heck of a ball game here. As let's see, that's his 20th point in this ball game, and we're going to have a foul underneath as the Hilltoppers get the ball underneath to Roland Esch, and Esch goes up and he's fouled, and that foul will go to Marcos Lucero. That's his second. That's the third team foul of this half. And so at the free throw line right now is Roland Esch for Los Alamos.
That was not. Sorry, Gene. That was not Lucero that committed that foul. That was Ludi Herrera.
Oh, is that right?
And it was no doubt about it. And that would have been his fourth.
So Roland Esch misses the first and the second. Rebound comes down to Jason Lovato. We have 30 seconds to go here in this third quarter. I can't believe how fast this ball game is going. So comes now they bring it over to Jason Lovato back out on top. And just holding the ball, Jason Lovato brought it over to Raymond Aragon, back to Jason. And we're going to have
I think Geiger's going to get called on the bump there.
Well, Owen Geiger called for the blocking foul. So that's Owen's first personal. That's only the first team foul in Los Alamos. So there's 10 seconds to go. And standing in the half-court circle, Jason Lovato. Lovato in the corner. Chase Darnell, three-point shot. Boy, I'm telling you, he was in the deep, deep corner. I mean, he couldn't have been anymore. He looked like a gymnast getting ready for his for a run. I mean, he couldn't have been any more into that corner, and then flying high in the air, trying to block the shot that time for the Hilltoppers. Let's see, I think it was, well, I knew it wasn't, and I don't know who it was. But boy, I mean, it just high in the air. But boy, Chase just concentrated and put it in. Even right now, Chase sitting there with 369 with, let's see, 20 with 23 points in the ball game right now.
Wow. And he was just money in that third quarter from long range, but they just say, and he's gotten very, very good looks. The Toppers trying to keep track of him, but the Bernalillo ball movement were just very, very good in that quarter. And Chase was the beneficiary. He just kept getting free, and he had good looks. He ends up with 11 points in that quarter. So 21 points for the Spartans in that quarter to 9 for the Toppers. The Spartans up 53-39, 14-point spread. That is tied for the biggest lead of the game by the Spartans heading into this fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's 53-39. So the Hilltoppers came up with 9 points, and the Spartans came up with 21 in that quarter to take this pretty much of a commanding lead right now. The Hilltoppers had 4 field goals, no three-pointers, and they were 1 for 6 from the free throw line.
And Gene, the only free throw the Toppers have hit tonight, Mark Cleland. He is money from the line.
That's right. Money in the bank from that free throw line. So Tristan Ludi Herrera underneath, wide open. Boy, great penetration, and this is underneath to Marcus Lucero. Lucero puts it in for 2. And that's his 4th point of the ball game. Full court press by Bernalillo as it's 55-39. Nico Garcia brings it to Owen Geiger. 3-point shot by Owen. Off the glass and in. So Owen Geiger bounces it off the glass for the 3-point shot. And that makes it now 55-42. Tristan now stopping in the half-court circle once again and signaling, okay, this time it's going to be play number 3, he says. So he goes around Owen Geiger. Whoa. And Owen's called for the blocking foul. Tristan just tried to throw the ball up at the basket to get a shooting foul, but it was way after. So let's see. I think that's going to be Owen Geiger. No, it is. Owen Geiger picks up his second personal. And that is the second team foul on Los Alamos. Pass. Bernalillo get it underneath. Shot up is off. Rebound comes down now to Nico Garcia.
Oh.
And Garcia trying to go up and high in the air. It's Tristan Ludi Herrera. And boy, it's a volleyball spike. Wow. Boy, did he whack that thing. Comes to Wesley Stanfield. Stanfield in the corner. Josiah Frescas. They'll bring it out on top now to Ryan Zeke. Zeke dishes it over onto the corner on the right side. Wesley Stanfield has the ball stolen away from him. They get it to Ludi Herrera. Long pass up the floor comes now to Chase Darnell. Darnell dishes it off. Underneath it comes, and he dishes underneath to Marcos Lucero. And Lucero puts it in, but they're going to call him for a traveling violation before the shot. 6:20 to go. 55-42. And Wesley Stanfield with it for Los Alamos. Comes over on the right wing, Nico Garcia. Garcia gets away with a double dribble. No, he doesn't.
that was a late whistle. I thought they were going to let it go.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to call it. So anyway, it's a 55-42, 6:05 to go, and the clock running here in the fourth quarter in an empty gymnasium, except for us and the teams and other varied officials. So Tristan Ludi Herrera penetrating down the lane, dishes it over into the corner, and he got it underneath there to Mario Sanchez, but Sanchez now had a little trouble getting a hold of it, gets it to Ludi Herrera, who just decides to take it right smack down Broadway. I mean, he just got it out at the top of the key, and then he just took it straight down Broadway for his 9th point, and makes it 57-42. So they
blocking foul on that.
Blocking foul. Yes, go ahead, Mike.
That was Mario Sanchez. That's his first 5th team foul here for the Spartans. And just 2 team fouls for the Toppers. As nice move there by Garcia, but cannot get the finish.
Whoa, boy. And Josiah Frescas, boy, I mean, he picks the pocket of Tristan Ludi Herrera. I mean, and he picked his pocket. I mean, as clean as you can possibly pick it, went down, put it up. The shot came off, but trailing was Nico Garcia. Nico put it in for his 9th point. Underneath they go, and the battle for the rebound on the missed shot by Bernalillo. And see, one of the Spartans finally ends up grabbing the loose ball, and then we're going to have a reach-in foul go with one of the Hilltoppers, and that's going to go to Rick Valdez. That's his 2nd, and that is now going to be the 3rd team foul of this half. 10 team fouls total been called on Los Alamos. They get it inside. And the corner of the shot, the 3-point shot on the way and in. Wow, Chase Darnell. Wow. I mean, he's just going crazy out there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 3-pointers for him. You get it to Rick Valdez on the baseline, puts the shot up, it's off. Long pass on the floor to Darnell. Darnell, wow. I mean, trailing him was Wesley Stanfield. Stanfield was right behind him, and I don't know how. I still might trying to figure out how Chase was able to get that shot up, because Wesley was right there. Plus, he was on a dead run, and he didn't. After he got it, he didn't have any time to set or grab the ball or anything. He just kind of grabbed it and just flipped it up off the glass and in. 62-44 right now, and we're going to have a personal foul, and that one is going to go to Mario Sanchez. That's going to be his 2nd. And at the free throw line for Los Alamos is Rick Valdez. Had 6 points in the 3rd quarter. Puts in the first of 2 shots. That's now 7 points. So,
well, looks like we have some. I think some blood or something.
Yeah. Mario Sanchez has to check out. And so Rick Valdez is at the line shooting 2nd of 2. This one is off. And the rebound, they're going to get it to Tristan Ludi Herrera. right now 62-45, 17-point lead for Bernalillo, and we're coming down in the final 4 minutes of this fourth quarter, and they get it underneath and take it to the basket. So cutting down the baseline, Jason Otto gets a great entry, gets a great pass, and lays it in for 2. And so Nico Garcia from way out puts the shot up, and it's off. Rebound is going to go off of the Hilltoppers. So it's a long rebound, and the Hilltoppers trying to grab it. So now we're going to have a timeout taken here. I don't know who. Okay, it's going to go Bernalillo.
Yeah, Bernalillo taking that timeout.
Taking the timeout, and let's see. It's going to be what? It's a full timeout.
A full.
Taken by Terry.
64-45 in favor of the Spartans, and it just, hot shooting team, and then the ball movement has just been outstanding here for the Spartans. Topper defense actually hasn't been bad, but just trying to keep up with this. The Spartans very, very quick with their passes. Set screens very well, and they're getting a bunch of open shots. I mean, the Topper defense has been scrambling all night, and you get a couple of hot shooters. I mean, you can barely get hotter than Chase Darnell is right now, and then Jason Lovato had a big second or a third quarter rather. So, the defense really hasn't been bad. There just isn't much they can do.
No, there really isn't. And like you say, the Spartans very well coached team, and I mean their ball movement, as Mike said, their ball movement is something else. It's really, really impressive, and they play with a lot of poise. And so Tristan Ludi Herrera is going to walk it up across the timeline. He dishes it off to Jason Lovato in the corner, and now trapped in the corner his time is Justin Sandoval. And so I guess Terry's going to take a 30-second timeout. But they passed it to Justin, who had just checked it. He just checked into the ball game, and he was over in the corner on the right side. They passed him the ball, and boy, he was immediately double teamed. And so he had 2 guys in front of him, and then he had the sideline and the baseline behind him.
And none of his teammates came over to help him.
No, not a one.
That's your problem there, buddy.
Yeah, you're on your own, Justin. So anyway, so 3:19 to go, Mike. 64-45.
And I'm just amazed how fast this game is going. This game has just been nonstop.
Absolutely.
We're just a little over the hour mark right now. That's pretty darn quick.
We haven't had that many fouls, and the game has just moved at a tremendous pace. So coming out of the timeout now, the Bernalillo inbounds it. The Hilltoppers now with a trapping defense. And we're going to have, I believe, a reach-in foul goal. So the Hilltoppers trying to set up a trap, and that personal foul is going to go. And this is going to go, this one's going to go to, they said what? I don't know who they gave that to. So now Bernalillo now just in 4 corners right now. So forget 4 corners. Jason Lovato puts up a 3 from way out. Rebound comes down to Ryan Zeke, and the ball is knocked out of Ryan's hands by Bernalillo. So the Hilltoppers will bring it up. No press being put on by the Spartans. They get it now to number 13. I don't have a 13. So.
That is Zach Morrow. Zach Morrow.
Who is it?
Zach Morrow, usually number 35. He's number 13. This
number 13.
This afternoon. And
okay.
Wow, he's wearing kind of those 1980s shorts there. You don't see those very often.
Whoa, boy, Josiah Frescus, and I mean he was way out there, and he cans a 3-pointer. Boy, that was from the back parking lot, and so a full timeout taken by the Hilltoppers. So the Hilltoppers right now have well, it says that each team has 2 timeouts left, and I've got each team with 3 timeouts.
I think they have 3.
I missed Terry's, so that's okay. I got Terry's. So anyway, so full timeout taken by the Hilltoppers, and so
timeout's probably not that big of a deal at this point. So comfortable lead for the Spartans. Remember, join us tomorrow, 2 p.m. for girls basketball here at Griffith Gymnasium. If you can't make it over here, and actually it doesn't matter if you can make it over here or not because you can't come in. The Toppers will take on the St. Pius Spartans, one of their traditional rivals in girls basketball. And the girls, just like the boys, gearing up. The boys actually were scheduled to have their first district ball game yesterday, but that was pushed back due just to the crazy stuff happening with the COVID-19. So they're going to reschedule that for early next month. But the girls gearing up for their district opener and going to take on the Spartans to kind of get that going.
Yes. So the Bernalillo moving the ball around very well, and they get it to Mario Sanchez. He puts it up for 2. Hilltoppers now coming down on the other end. They get it to Josiah Frescus. His 3-point shot is off. Rebound comes down to Tristan Ludi Herrera. Nobody else went to the board whatsoever. Everybody just took off down the floor. Kind of like watching what's his face that played for Chicago there. Anyway, up the floor, here comes Josiah Frescus. Whoa. And so he goes up against Justin Sandoval. But and let's see, what are we going to have here?
I think we're going to have a timeout. Yeah, Bernalillo taking a timeout here. I'm not quite sure why.
Let's see. Yeah, okay. So Terry takes a full timeout. So I have him for 1 full remaining. And the Hilltoppers, I have him. Well, they've got 2. I can't remember. I don't know if it's 1 and 1 or 2 full. Doesn't matter. 66-48, as Mike is pointing out. Now tomorrow afternoon at 2:00, we'll be back here at the Griffith Gymnasium. It's just not everybody can get in here. Fortunately, we can. So, so we'll be here to bring you that ball game. Spartans today, Spartans tomorrow. And the Hilltopper girls will take on St. Pius.
And so that's always, that is about as rivalry as you can get between Los Alamos and St. Pius. Member, longtime coach for the Spartans, Phil Griego, fantastic coach. He always had that team ready to go anytime they faced off. Phil is gone, and he's a great guy, by the way.
Yeah, Phil and then his assistant coach who retired a few years before Phil did. And they were great people. And of course, Phil was just like you say, just a fantastic individual. So all down the floor it comes, and the Hilltoppers get it. And they get a long pass down the floor to Nick Garcia, and then Garcia dishes it off over to Justin Sandoval, and Sandoval is fouled in the act of shooting, and that's going to go to Gavin Coy. That's his second. And that is the 15th foul on Los Alamos. There've been 16 fouls called on, so Justin puts it in for 2, and it converts the 3-pointer. I mean,
have the Spartans not missed a free throw today?
What's that?
I don't believe Bernalillo's missed a free throw.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what's going on, but Wesley Stanfield was running off, had the ball, and he was stumbling all over the floor. I don't know whether they called anything or not. The Hilltoppers scored, but they must have called traveling.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, Wesley, the ball was at his feet. He couldn't find the handle, but he was, he took easily 3 or 4 steps there, and whistle a little bit late again. So
yes, 30 seconds, well, 25 seconds to go. Whoa! And so Jason Lovato 3-point shot, and let's see who's gonna. Well, let's see. The rebound is pulled down by Nick Garcia, but the Hilltoppers are going to call this time Gavin Coy for contact on the rebound. So that is only the 16th foul. So the Bernalillo will inbound it with 10 seconds to go. You're going to bring it over onto now they just spread it out. The Hilltoppers, I don't know why the Hilltoppers right now being very aggressive, but that's going to wind it down to 0. And so the final score is going to be 48-69. The Hilltoppers drop to the Bernalillo Spartans as the Hilltoppers are able to come up with 9 points in that fourth quarter and only 18 points total in that second half. And then the Spartans came up with 16 points in that quarter. So, well, they had 37-point second half. The Toppers 18. So, anyway, 69-48. So the Hilltoppers go down by 21 to a very, very well coached team. And so Terry Darnell waving to us and giving us a thumbs up and stuff. Terry is such a great guy, and he's been the AD and the coach down there. Every time we go to Bernalillo, it's we interact with Terry, basketball, football, baseball, whatever it is, and what a great individual he is. Class act. So anyway, well, Mike, the final score, Mike's adding everything up here to see how we came out. But the Hilltoppers, Bernalillo just started off like on a house of fire, and they just zinged out to an 11-2 lead, and Benito called a timeout, and it settled us almost down. And they were able to close it then to 2, and then after but then it was a pretty close ball game after that. The quarter ended at 15-13. Hilltoppers down by 2, and then they each scored 17 in the second quarter, so it was 32-30. So still a very, very close ball game. But in the third quarter, the Hilltoppers did not score. It took them over 4 minutes to finally get a basket, and I think that was Elijah Ortiz. But but in the meantime, while they were during those 4 minutes, while they were trying to find the hoop, Bernalillo wasn't having any trouble finding the hoop, and they were on a run, and so they ran away with it 21-9 in that quarter and 16-9 in the fourth quarter. Mike.
Yeah, boy, just Bernalillo, just ball movement was great. They have a lot of spot up shooters from long range, and then Chase Darnell was just. He was just out of his mind today. 6 3-pointers for Chase Darnell. 4 of those coming in the second half. He finishes with 28 for the ball game. So Chase just all over the place there. So he led everybody, obviously. One of 3 Spartans in double figures. Raymond Aragon had 12, and Jason Lovato with 11 points for the Spartans. 11 3-pointers overall for Bernalillo. For the Toppers, they were led by Nico Garcia. He ended up with 11 points. Pretty quiet second half, unfortunately, for me. Nico, he just had the 1 bucket in the fourth quarter. But he was the high point man for Los Alamos this evening. Rick Valdez ended up with 7, and then Mark Cleland ended up with 9. Both of those gentlemen coming off the bench this evening. Roland Dash also off the bench. He ended up with 6 points, 3 points each for Josiah Fresquez and Josh Woodson. They both had 3-pointers. Woodson in the first and Fresquez in the fourth. A bucket for Ryan Zeke and a bucket for Elijah Ortiz. Oh, beg your pardon. Owen Geiger with 5 points this evening as well. He had a 3-pointer in that fourth quarter. But Toppers, like you said, Gene, looked like it was going to be a long night for them. Made a nice run back against the Spartans, kept it close for the bulk of the first half, but then just that first 4.5 minutes there, Bernalillo couldn't miss if they wanted to, and the Topper they had absolutely nothing going on the offensive end, and that really spun this game around, and it was all Spartans from there.
Yeah, it's flat as a pancake, and interestingly enough, let's see, the Hilltoppers were 1 for 6 from the free throw line up through 3 quarters, and then they were 1 for 2 the next. So the Hilltoppers ended up a total of 2 for 8 from the free throw line, but leading the way from that free throw line was Mark Cleland.
Wow, he was just on fire.
I can't believe they would foul him. I mean, that just automatic 2 points.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But, as we were saying, the Toppers just not able to get to the free throw line tonight. And it was really not, that's the way it worked out. There just wasn't, Spartans very, very disciplined down low. And a lot of those fouls were intentional ones that they got there in the second half. So there just wasn't a lot to call. It wasn't a question that, they're missing this or missing that. There just wasn't much happening.
It was a very, very clean game and very fast-paced game, and I don't know. And the ball movement by Bernalillo was so good that the Hilltoppers didn't have much of a chance to foul in a lot of cases. But the Hilltoppers on the other end did a good job themselves of moving the ball around, but they. Starting off that second half, they just could not find the hole, and we make a lot of fun of Mark Cleland. He's a big guy, but he, like I say, his shots are straight as an arrow. I mean, it's like I was saying earlier. It's like he thinks he's 10 feet tall and shooting down at the basket. So anyway. But he had a good game today I got him for 9 points total, and he actually didn't play all that much. And he was, I'm not sure the last game the Hilltoppers played, he was out with the COVID stuff. So I'm not sure how any of these guys, when we went down to academy, I mean, half had four players missing because of COVID against academy. So Mike, the final score is 69-48. And so any final words before we wrap this thing up?
Well, Gene, just, like we're seeing Bernalillo over the years quite a bit, and they're always very, very well disciplined, one of the most well disciplined teams, I think, in the entire state, and that goes straight back. That is a reflection of their head coach Terry Darnell. He has these guys running like a well-oiled machine. But if you get a chance at some point during this academic year, just to go see Bernalillo play. Really anything, just their level of athleticism this year is just unreal, and that starts with Mr. Ludi Herrera, who's just fantastic athlete, but just up and down this board, they're just full of athletes this year, and they can do a lot of things. They do a lot of things very well, and seeing a good, solid, disciplined, very well run offense, that's tough to beat.
Oh yes, and it kind of made me laugh the way they'd come down, and then Ludi Herrera he'd come across the timeline, get in the half court circle and just stand there with the, and they'd get him the ball, and then he'd just stand in the half court circle, and then I don't know, he'd make little motions with his head. Sometimes it looked like he was counting the players. Sometimes he'd flip up a 3 or a 4 or something, and then he'd make some kind of a move. But it was kind of funny how they would just stand out there and just kind of like they were just kind of eyeing the situation, and then let's go. So it was and the Hilltoppers just let Ludi stand in the free throw circle until he was ready to go. So anyway, but that'll do it for us. And so, like I keep saying, is the Spartans today, the Spartans tomorrow. That'll be at 2:00 in the afternoon. That's a firm time. Ball game will start at 2 because there's not going to be any preliminaries or anything. It's going to be same situation we had today. No fans, no anything. Just us and the team and all kinds of various officials. And so that's going to do it. So Hilltoppers go down 69-48. So let's see, that makes them now 8-7, I do believe, on the season. And the Bernalillo is right now, I think, is 9-9 on the season. So anyway, that'll do it for us. And we'll be back on the air tomorrow afternoon at 2:00. That's a firm time. We'll be on a little before 2. And the Hilltopper girls taking on the Spartans. That should be a pretty good ball game. And so this is Gene Mortensen for Mike Mays and for Nate Limback. Came over and got everything set up. And we want to thank Carol Clark for all the stuff that she's done. There was a great spread in the Daily Post of the paper version yesterday, talking about Carol Clark and everything that she's done for the Hilltopper Sports to get this season going, and we really do appreciate that. So anyway, so this is Gene Mortensen, and so have a great tomorrow. You can even make it a better tomorrow and have a good Saturday. All you got to do is put a little love in your heart. Don't forget to hug the penguin, but the most important thing you can always do is just be excellent to each other. And Sweetie Pie, I love you, honey. I really do love you. And boy, I'm telling you, I miss you a lot. Bye-bye, everybody.
Hello, I'm Commander Oliver Morris with the Los Alamos Police Department. It's an exciting time to live in Los Alamos. With the increase in hiring at the lab, we've seen more motorists and visitors come to Los Alamos. But with that, we've also seen an increase in traffic. And with traffic, we also get calls of distracted driving, speeding, and sometimes aggressive driving. Please join me in reducing these calls. Our officers are going to be out in force looking for these types of driving behavior. If you see something, please call us at our non-emergency line or our emergency line. We appreciate your partnership in helping keep our community safe, and thank you.
Hi, I'm Troy Hughes with Los Alamos Fire Department, reminding you that fall's upon us and winter's soon coming, so we'll start using our appliances more, like our furnace, our fireplaces. Make sure you get those appliances checked by a certified technician, especially the fireplaces. Make sure you've got a good chimney sweep, get that thing good and clean and ready to burn, and make sure you have a good working CO detector and smoke alarm in your home if you're going to use those appliances.